Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio, so today we are looking at a new Lanturn card. I like Lanturn, ladies and gentlemen. I've had a soft spot for Lanturn ever since I turned up to my very first national championships, playing a combination of Lanturn Prime and Feraligatr Prime. For that reason, Lanturn will always hold a special place in my heart. And of course, we did do a video about this Lanturn not very long ago, because I did a little prediction video showing you the Lanturn that I thought we were going to get, along with the Sableye and the Ludicolo. And we've had a reprint of the Sableye. We've had a reprint of Ludicolo, although admittedly it was missing an attack. So now it's time to have a reprint of Lanturn. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a little bit partial to this Lanturn. Now, it's got 110 HP, which is a little bit low for a Stage 1 Pokemon, especially when you consider that Pokemon like Tapu Koko are basics that have 110 HP. That's not being very nice to Lanturn. And your weakness to fighting sucks, mostly due to Buzzwole, although as I've said in a bunch of videos, if you're sharing a weakness with the best Pokemon in the game, Zoroark GX, people are going to be gunning for you, even if they're not gunning for you. Resistance to metal is quite nice, because maybe your opponent comes with something like a Registeel and essentially ends up doing naff all damage. Retreat cost of 2 is a little bit rubbish, and being a lightning Pokemon, I don't know, you can accelerate energy with Raikou, or you can use Electrode from Evolutions for about a month before it gets rotated. Maybe. I don't know. Could be fun, I suppose. Lightning isn't a great type at the moment, and in terms of weakness, I don't know, Ho-Oh. There we go. You're hitting weakness on Ho-Oh, and that is actually pretty good because Ho-Oh's a good Pokemon. But we need to know about the attacks here, and as always, well, at least as it's been for a while now, the translations come from the lovely David Hochmann himself, Limitless TCG, RappelmannTCG, man of many names, and a man of good translations. And the ability here, it's EXP share. If one of your Pokemon that's in the active gets KO'd, while Lanturn is on the bench, you can take a basic energy from that Pokemon and attach it to Lanturn. That's quite cool. Thing is, being an ability rather than a Pokemon tool means it can't be wrecked by Field Blower, and let's face it, Field Blower coming down is really the main reason why people haven't been playing EXP share, because your opponent plays a Field Blower and then you're like, well, brilliant, that was a huge waste of a Pokemon tool. Because if your opponent plays a Field Blower and then takes the KO, you've gotten absolutely no use from that whatsoever, which kind of sucks, but that's not the case here. Now, it is an ability, but it's not a GX ability, so it's not going to be turned off by Glaceon. And it's not a basic Pokemon, so it's not going to be turned off by Alolan Muck. The only thing that will turn it off here is slacking. And although I like slacking, I did a video the other day, I'm a fan of slacking, it's still a Stage 2 Pokemon that needs to be in the active to turn off abilities. So unless you got a slacking in the active wrecking all of your Pokemon, this Lanturn is going to keep its ability. And this is really nice, because it means you don't need to worry. You whack Lanturn on the bench, Pokemon gets KO'd, it gets an energy. Second Pokemon gets KO'd, it gets an energy. And then either you add one energy from your hand and you're off and going, or you wait for a third Pokemon to get KO'd and you've essentially got, admittedly only when you've given up free prizes, but you've essentially got a free attacker here. But it doesn't just have to be one Lanturn. You can have 2 Lanturn on the bench, and as long as each of your active Pokemon has got 2 energy on, then by the time all 3 Pokemon get KO'd, you've got 2 Lanturn sitting on the bench, ready to go as an attacker. And here I'm really thinking about decks that take advantage of the best named attack in the entire game, Snuggly Generator. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, I'm calling it best attack name in the game. If you've got a better one, chuck it down in the comment section, and I'll tell you you're wrong, because Snuggly Generator is the best attack name in the game. 1 lightning energy, and you accelerate 1 lightning energy to each of your Pokemon in play that has a Nuzzle attack, or each of your bench Pokemon. It's good. People use it in Raichu decks. So essentially here, what you do is you have a couple of Raichu going, and then inevitably they get taken down, as happens to all Pokemon sooner or later, nothing you can do about it. You've then got a couple of Lanturn ready to go, and if you've had 2 Raichu KO'd, then each of your Lanturn will have 2 energy, so you just bring in a third energy here with Lanturn, and you are off and rolling and ready to go. And in fact, if you use the first Lanturn, 2 energy from KO'd Pokemon, you add the third, then when the Lanturn goes down, then your bench Lanturn will then get a third energy. So if you've got 2 Pokemon KO'd, you got 2 Lanturn on the bench then, each will have 2 energy. You put 1 on the first Lanturn, but you won't need to put 1 on the second, because it'll get its third when Lanturn goes down. It's really, really good. The thing is, what we really need is a single energy Pokemon that attacks as a basic lightning Pokemon for 1 energy. And then, every time it goes down, you start fueling Lanturn, and you are off, and you are going. The problem is, at the moment, I just don't actually think we have that in the format. I'd like to be wrong, but I just don't think we've got a basic Pokemon at the moment that is lightning and attacks for 1 energy and does what you need it to do. And that is a little bit of a problem. If we ever get one, Lanturn is going to be phenomenal. But what are you going to do? Use the Oricorio that does 20 damage for a single energy? I mean, maybe. Just do 20 damage and then wait till you're going. Maybe you use Raikou. But then Raikou only does 30, it's more energy acceleration, and the whole point is you don't need energy acceleration because, you know, you've got Lanturn. I mean, maybe you take advantage of Luxio here, and you've got a Shinx that evolves turn 1. Luxio does have Trainer Lock for a single energy. Maybe that's the combo we need here. I don't know is the honest answer. But if you can find a decent single energy Pokemon, then you use that for a few turns, and then by the time a couple of them have gone down, you've basically got an army of Lanturn up and raring to go. I can think of worse things, ladies and gentlemen. Now there is an attack here, Lightning, Lightning, Colourless. The ability would be pointless if there wasn't an attack with which to pair it. 70 damage, you may discard all Lightning, if so you do 140. Now, you do only discard lightning energy here, which means you could have 2 lightning and, say, a fairy, and then you're only discarding 2 energy per turn. That could be quite nice, but to be perfectly honest, this is a Pokemon where you use the ability to get it rolling, and then you come in and smash for 140. Now, if you're against something that's weak like a Ho-Oh, you add on a choice badge, you do 200, that's really good, but then again, even something like an Empoleon here, you'd only be hitting 140, and you wouldn't be getting a KO. This really is about doing 140 and then hitting more for weakness if you need to. It doesn't hit really high levels without something like a Professor Kukui, because the fact of the matter is, if you're not hitting for weakness here, it's still only 170. Now, 170 is enough to take down a Tapu Lele, but it won't get a Buzzwole, and it won't get a Duskmane Necrozma. It won't KO all the Pokemon you want it to KO, and that's a little bit of a problem. It is an awesome ability, but I don't know if the attack is quite good enough. Great if you're hitting for weakness, great against Tapu Lele, and let's face it, what is essentially a free attack, it's good. As a utility attacker in a lightning deck that you sit on the bench because you're going to be able to use it at some point, yes, I love it. As a Pokemon on its own, I don't think it's fast enough or hard-hitting enough. But putting a 1-1 or a 2-2 line in a Lightning deck anyway, just to leave it on the bench so you've got what is essentially a free attacker in the late game, I like it for that, and that makes it a free Wassy Pokemon. Put it in your binder, you might use it late game in Lightning decks as what is basically a free attacker. So, free Wassies sounds pretty good to me. And if we ever get a really good single energy basic lightning Pokemon, this is going to be great in conjunction with that. So keep your eyes open. And do let me know in the comment section what you think of this. I think it's kind of fun, but it's a tech. It's not something to build a deck around. I'd like to hear from you guys. So let me know. Go nuts, but be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at PTCGRadio. If you're feeling in a good mood and you're thinking, hey, I like this channel, I'd like to support this channel, then head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio. You can do that. I would be happy and you could feel good about yourself. Life would be good. And I do have a video game / Dragon Ball Super channel, Wassy Plays. We're almost at 1,000 subs. And that's the point at which I can have a vanity URL. youtube.com/WassiePlays. So maybe you go subscribe there and you make me happy in that way. That would be nice. But by far the most important thing as always, and the thing that would make me happiest, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross and you've been watching PTCG Radio.